and a best assurance so ebo woni padua no wajapade ho eban lit fufuo simanum na ye krado liter ben kwan so prekasa de no edese biribi na fe this way chocolate drink and any coffee drink afi this way no dairy tea cream and milk powder ho din womu enyiwe ko na ebo medical sebo no abram na de bedi mu akotine bi and it's COVID-19 yari aye ka ho asemi no ade aka ne mahodo bebre na no nyanyafo adade atodwe kire mu se saa wiemhyan a enko wane na sefo no bi ko kasa bi a ye must bi na na enhyeda enye no kwesa.
Public Officers Bill 2018 enne emrehebedwafo atoato adwen ewo ho.
Mampani dada mahama ade atodwe kire mu se Ghana fo na dom to abama no ema ne be mampani emfi pinu ne aduonu ba ko a na fie emfie na ye de bema no anya hwekura no nyuma be ye makomako opepem ba ko obema Ghana fo satumi aka.
COVID-19 cases at Ghana was said the akodu 34,406 and na bese empemeduasa ene ahansi aduonu ba ko so eho atowo mo.
Ye bekwa ma no ni nsemu na mane boy saka kire se hwehwemu abetodwasa nipa be ye opepem aduane no 45 million ena bibimam ha aduane ho aye den ama omo.
Nigeria ban e de atodwase adesuafo a wo mo mafia etwatro no na wo twa ebesimo wo mfiase enko suku.
Ensembi eka wenum ho ne de so mo saka se ba kenkanfo a ye so mo ena nwumre wa hobrase mu eyeme Agya Kwabena mene
Obahima Afia Asiedu
Afrika sebo ne mu ensam nie ye nyina nim se akwantu a etufa wiem no me ahodoro a wiem hye ta akọ eye efi nkran kota krade Kumasi Tamale ene de wanso aka ho na wiem sanjuma ko ba ko ebo ne homode se na be betumi de akwana ba wiem akwantu mu eye African World Airline na sese no wa omoja akwantu mu tu wo ho ene bi ne mo se de etia sa akwantu yi a na se wiem hye akwantu ye de kọ wa na ye gya ne nyina ne se eye must a yesisi ahodo a eno ye GBC ene telecommunication companies ahodo no ene won ye keka ho ni nyina no wo mo aye ni nyina no wo ma ye no ene de se ohaw ni nyina aba na no nyafo akofia da kire mu se no kore ni ka ho bi nanso no yetumi nka susu dua pense eye no a na mu ye betumi aka se sikasam a ehwa ye din kakra ene COVID-19 yi nti no ena ma African World Airline ene wiemhye dwumeku ahodo no enfom wiemhye no enkowa.
Public Officers Bill 2018 enne Ghana mrehebedwafo atwahiem atoato adwen wo ho pa na enu no chirem Attorney General a osan ye osoafo hwe atenten ne ho nsem eso Era Gloria Ekufuo no na emove motion se de be ya obetumi akenkan de etoso empre no so.
Provisions in the bill on conflict of interest include the duty to report plus 24, prohibition of self-dealing plus 23, 28, misleading the public clause 33, and consumption of alcoholic beverages or psychotropic substances whilst going to work or at work, clause 38. A public officer is also required to exhibit political neutrality, clause 31, and to report improper directives, clause 37. Under clause 42, a complaint of a contravention of the Code of Conduct of Public Officers by a public officer is to be made to the Commissioner for Human Rights and Administrative Justice. It is the expectation of government that this Honourable House will assist in attaining the intended objective of the bill by its passage. I thank you for your indulgence.
The conduct of public officers in Ghana has come up for major scrutiny because of the tag of corruption, because of the harassment, sexual harassment in offices of female staff, because of the receipt of gifts by public officers. And also the Constitution requires that public officers who are appointed into public office declare their assets within a certain minimum period. But all these provisions are scattered in different legislations. That being so, it is very difficult to police, monitor, and ensure compliance.
I'm glad to see that in this bill we'll be discussing who qualifies to be a public office holder. We'll be discussing the assets declaration regime. Incidentally, it happens to have come into the political fore in only these few days, and it is important that those who have ideas which they seek to impact on the nation should bring in their input at this stage, so that by the end of it, we would have an acceptable, well-defined asset declaration regime.
This bill must correct that magic. Where do we get the money from to satisfy those unfettered and unending needs and demands on public office holders? We don't find the money from legitimate sources, and we should be bold in many instances to confront it. Mr. Speaker, I have always long held the view that laws alone does not fight corruption. We have all the fine legislations in Ghana, but like as I said, the UNDP estimates that 13.5 billion is lost to corruption every year. Conflict of interest is at the heart of corruption. When you have to award a contract, who do you award it to? So, Minister, we should commend you. We hope that this will not be another legislation which will be on the shelves.
Ghana Mampeni Dada, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Enra, and Nania Wapa, no se umutu franca, and Fantanechi, and Fampere in Film Pimunu, and Yaduna Bay, Wadana di Michre, Oninyafo Jane Nana Upuku Ajima, and Ran Odana did Ghana for Nana Mansenina. Nabra Mampena Dada Casano did you actually say. Sagana for Abamano, Manbe Mampenia, the Obayani say, if you're near the Shannon son, or Besha Quine, Sagana for which you Juma, a Jan Nasupinti, and your part time didn't be permanent. Obituen be manipa be opipin back 1 million etumi enya dwuma ya eno be boa amanfo asetena
Akakrani adima NDC amayekuno mampeinda da John Dramani Mahama chiremwa na wasi December da eto so mfimpi mienu ne aduoni segana foje penie eto aba edema ne biema ne mfinhia na bekwa wiye no no wabo adwuma be 1 million edi amagana fo wasi adwuma ho tie adwuma ye papa adwuma di sika beba enye pepe adwumfo adwuma bia na wasira se Ghana fo nje penie to aba mano sanse wono roto no wope Ghana fo asempa o mampeinda da John Dramani Mahama de se wose tudwa ebra na obenfo jena na opoku agima franka ni abedi akire edima NDC amayekuno moda no die ede ache Ghana for ewo UPSC hyiapon ewo enkrani mu.
Our plans will include an aggressive job and entrepreneurial program in the public and private sectors that will deliver a minimum of 250,000 jobs every year and a total of more than 1 million jobs across the country by the end of my term in office in 2024. We will put Ghanaians back to work to earn a decent living.
Omampanyina da JDM asan e de atudwa bio say Ghana for monto abamana na samo de mano na oba or Better Financial Services Authority enu be hwese DKM Men's Gold God is Love Just Motors ni sa nema na ebetwi omanfo edi ye no ebi NCView.
I pledge on behalf of the NDC that we shall, within 1 year of being in office, pay all funds that have been locked up with the collapsed financial institutions. Within our first year in office, we shall pay to all the beneficiaries all funds locked up in the collapsed financial institutions. It is a promise. We shall not put together any long-term payment plan that will further worsen the living conditions of the victims. As has been introduced in other economies, the next NDC administration will establish a financial services authority that will be responsible for ensuring that consumer financial markets work for consumers and providers and for the economy as a whole. This Financial Services Authority will oversee all financial products and services that are offered to consumers and will effectively and efficiently prevent and stop the challenges that have confronted customers of Men's Gold, DKM, and others. We will restore Ghanaian indigenous investment in the banking and financial sector. And we will do this through a tiered banking structure in order to restore viable credit sources for Ghanaian SMEs. and we will make amends for those whose businesses were collapsed due to political victimization. We will send all contractors with valid contracts who have been sitting at home for 4 years without being paid for legitimate work done for government back to site. And we will make immediate arrangements to pay them their hard-earned monies deliberately withheld by the Nanado administration due to politics.
Amayeko bako o manga nemu LPG enye LPG gas e di so jabi na mo no Liberal Party of Ghana on Frank Atwin ene Kofi Apalu o da tuje kiremu se man penda da Mahama ka se DKM ene Goddess Love for bo no bitu omoka wone ne ya adwene nye yikorakresan se ne mre so ana sa bank saudo nyina no ekwa ahokiremu.
Enkomona na UTV ene Frank Akyere ede ema LPG amayuko no oru Kofi Apalu ADN no kire se omanpenda da Dwandwaman ma masese yeto abade mane bi mu Men's Good omo customer sika na ati akamro behwe twani nyina da de amomo ene oso obo wontimi nye saade no wase asomani adanse ne yetwa bidia ya adanse ebra no omanpenda da Dwandwaman ma edi ade no ene DKM Goddess Love ni nyimako awodo no omo sika etika mu obiso omanpenda da Dwandwaman ma masede be pa no yede fa ho etinya afi no de Men's Good customers ni sika no Babeye campaign.
Do Kenya Ogwa or Pekwambida Dada Ghana for because Obeka September 2013 Okasimo say and check Nagana for na refi. And you say Sabi refi say DKM Goddess Love and in the Keka home and go Fusika Kemwa went to Mentua. And in process can do 1 billion or can in Abuma. Then do 1 billion Ghana cedis impo. And no kura want to mentia. Then Men's Good. Any Goddess Love that didn't have done what that out. Any the diabetic come. I Kabuma and numbers of 15 billion Ghana cedis. Best 16 billion Ghana cedis. Na Mahama says Bobo to Obwa. Na backward Roma. There is no way say Mahama Babe president be. Me say obian fan sign bebia insu enka Mahama de say baba ye president obi ani o kra no asan boy nti obi asa akiro eni pe ni abre no sa boy nti obi a o ga ka wo se hwe no se huru wakoma Mahama de dia wo o ke kansem na Ghana fo ato abama no keke obwa na da no da Ghana fo wa ye bia mo bia wo so wantumi anye ahucha Ghana for kum how amanie atete nkwanana na Ghana for afem o Mahama ne NDC for nsano Ghana for here bebribe nyina ho free ono na start here eno gu DKM a serious fraud scheme fraudulent scheme and akoi venture capital tima boy krono ehwe sika wiakete afero muso me refund this Ghana Senate eteta wono NC boy kroni biakete no mbe
Ghana Health Service in Penifo added to just say COVID-19 yenya 782 cases for kra na we fi mensi mako aduonum enwoche 58 districts and a mantam and son 7 regions mu and na abeka ho enti say in total cases ni nyina aye 134,406.
After 23 hours 26th of July we had the number of Ghana's active cases stood at 3,617 cases. Recoveries out of the total that has been included 30,621, with a cumulative total of 34,406 cases. The death rate is about 168 of them have died, and we have 0.54% case fatality. That is the proportion that dies 0.454%. We have so far conducted 382,752 tests, bringing our tests per million population to about 11,792, which is relatively quite high by all standards. Based on this, we have a test positivity average total of 8.99%, 8.57 from contact tracing, and 9.71 from routine surveillance, which is to be expected. We are reporting a total of 782 positives this morning, and these samples ranges from 23rd of June all the way to the 25th of July 2020. The 782 came from 58 districts and 7 regions of the country, which means that 9 regions did not report any positives. We have had about 34,000 cases total. 30,621 have recovered, accounting for about 89% recovery, and so that brings out the total of 3,617 active cases.
Yabesha chini akọkọfa ekase boy di kan eka ho asem no efa onunyamfo eye ada Joseph ada oye wiemhya kwantuo soafo ho ensem a wokan na ne nyina ne se ukọwa ye wiemhyen gina bie na wo ho no sese ekase ye wiemhyen bia entumi enko ne no ena wa mrahye bedwane onunyamfo Rashid Papu ebisa se yewura da ben ena wiemhyen ebetumi akọwa se de be yakọ ne abade ebetumi akọ anim ne no ena onunyamfo Joseph ada de atudwa ekyiremu se nipa bi keka se master hudo bi na ewo ye ka master na power line tintintin a ye bi a ye de electricity faso we de nye electricity ye de faso na mo no enyumeku ahodo a ye telephone no wo mo na wo de wo master nyama ko sisi so ebetumi edi nkomo wo mo edi basis wa se wiemhye ni etwemu a na interfere na chese ene wiemhye no kita hodie no ye twetwere ka ho bi na wiemhye ahodo ntumi connect through African World Airline onunyafo Papu kire se anaso nyafo ada kire se wo mo de nkrata akora efi Ghana Civil Aviation Authority wo ekokoma nyumeku ahodo a wo mo master si wo so mu kotutu mfiri wo still wo mu tutu na wo kotutu wo mu wie so a eka wo mebo no se nyumeku ni betua.
The GCA is currently collaborating with industry stakeholders to reassess the procedures on how flights can adjust to new profiles for departure procedures, taking into consideration the Vodafone and Helios towers directly sited on the approach path. Mr. Speaker, another obstacle that has come to our notice is the weakness of the apron area of the airport, which resulted in the parking of the aircraft on the runway by African World Airlines. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, apron is simply a parking lot for aircraft. The attention of the Ghana Airports Company Limited has been drawn to this, and efforts are being made to quickly repair the apron and make it suitable for use by aircraft. Mr. Speaker, I wish to conclude by saying that the recent suspension of flight operations to Wuhan by African World Airlines, in particular, is mainly due to the COVID-19 and the dwindling passenger numbers due to the pandemic, and not necessarily the above stated issues of the flight path obstructions as well as the apron issue. I therefore wish to assure this House that efforts are being made to expeditiously fix the problems relating to the obstacles. African World Airlines is also confident to start operations when the situation with COVID-19 and passenger numbers improve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Rector of the Ghana College of Pharmacists ano pharmacist Yvonne Iwenchia Iseku na de work nyina ene se omanfo nya hwe yie covid ebremi se wonye nsunsanso bi na bon kai se oye nya bia eni kwa se wotene fi na wankasa no manuro bomoden a ekopiem ewo ayaresabia.
Ghana for be yarena se munye de onko ayaresabia da wote fa echema no abowura drugstore akwakoto edura na sonya bibidro bi pe no wayo kopum se yade no be yade ni abona bombo di na akwakoto ayaresabia ebra coronavirus abe na futu akọ ede ama Ghana for say sa de na ye save medication ye nya kresan se emwa yen kwanchefo panyi di ma Ghana College of Pharmacists farm Yvonne Renchua na de se futu we say emaye
yenim se sa emre obia esuro enti ubehu se nipa bebre wo hono mo a omo yare krampo a omo mpese omo bedika akọ hospital efise omo suro se bi krampo e hona ombekọ akotete yare yefi enti nipa dom na nipa bebre na ubehu se pharmacy no mobekọ enti so mobekọ pharmacy no naturally se ebia se ne ya tetete no obi hono ma onya yare ni mfiti ase no emmone nto ho na yehu se yare we no se yehu ne ntemu a ene yetime so ano ntem nia president kraka kire ni se Nyankopon wa hira yen no akwaye se yen ya wo Ghana ha no yen hye da anyare and ho bebre efri se ye hu ne ntem nti se ye hu ne ntem a na ye tu ase ntem na se bia se utie o ya na omne mu ye wo ya omne mu kekao wo nwansi na se wo fa ho ekofa edura yentimi enhu se ye sa yare we ya na ye mma wo sa eduro no nti self medication sa mre de bi emwaye
odi afutuo emaye so bi ba drugstore na se pharmacy bi mu aba beto edura aya ye nhwe hu se nipa no kita doctor's report anaso akwa yare sabiaba
de bia ansa na obefa eduro no hwe na hu se wo pharmacist ehu a kire se eduro we na ye ma wo aha uko pharmacy uto eduro no na se bia ubisa ho asem na se asem no antowasum yi asem bisa no wahu se ebi wo hono mo a na nipa dom nti bia ono kasa ye ne se wate ase na so wante ase twen na bisa no na onkyerechire mu yi na emom eduro a se wankasa wo befa wo hono mo na wa wo fa de debi me yanya ne sa
Adumaku a hwe ye nro ni nuane ahoda ye die so aye Food and Drugs Authority impany for the nsemi atudwa na kwancha for pani oda ma no Radilis mimi da ko na kasa ye wo kire se COVID-19 ya baye nipa bi de efidie bi aba omaga na mu se ai se wunya bi a na se wa betumi atese e ofie na wa hwe se wo bi a na se wuni bi a ene ne ametete sayeta efre no rapid diagnostic test sa machine no na mama kire se woma ye makomako aduasa nan ehu hwehwemu abedu Ghana ha ne nyina enye papa esanse susudua FDA for that to fa saade no ho no de omo hwehwemu nyina no enye papa ti so bi so ko ton bi a ya hweye pa ne afamu
so se covid na ansa ne yebeka so wenya bi no ye ye test no se ne ye ne se ye de ade bi ate se bi a praye ne ye de bi ti sa wa sha no ne ye de a hye ohinim ana wenum aha ne dia collab ne akohwehwe ayesi we bia wenye bi ana se ebia wenye bi na apart from eno so no test bi ho ha ye friend no rapid diagnostic test eno no ye hwe omogem nti eno no se wenya yare ni bia ye hwe omogem a bibi wo mu a ye friend no antibodies se wenya yare ni bia wankasa omogya na ebe producer de bi ye friend antibodies na eno na ko etia sa yare no na sa test kit no e ya de aba wokrum aka eye adwuma de a ka no so betumi aboa am ye hu omo nye bi ena se wo de test obi susu na so nye bi de a ena ombe obi susu a wenye bi susu a no so be ma negative result na test antibody no oni bi enti no adena sa adena yen Food and Drugs classified as medical device na asema ne ye kan se nkrofo be 34 ena di bia be ye se yen test hwe se eye papa ne test yi na so ne bie ni ho eye papa enti na sema ne de wa betudwa ne se obi di bi bro se fa na fa test covid a yesrem ara mamunyusu because ne wo krom ni nyina na bie ni ho a eye papa ne ayen ya testing de ne papa yeguso hwehwem se papa ba ye de betudwa ya sendi akọ papers mu be premium se mpancho obi o bibia won fa mre ne testing hwe ye ni noguchi ene ekolebu fo ne de ye hwehwem hwe se ye papa ansa because hwe nya ya se ube use test kit a enye papa na ye de be ye oni aka cho so ebia covid no unye bi na enye nukure se unye bi o na emom kit na ye de ye ma wo no na ekire se unye bi nso na onam ho no na ebia wenye bi na wo de nam na wo de sesa nkrofo nti asema ye be kan ne se test kit no sa rapid test kit na ye de hwe umogya mu no ebie ni ho a Food and Drugs Authority no ya gi atum nti no so obi di bi brew se me be ye ofia ma wa mamonje ebia president ka se ye kontomre yenya ado yankase enuane na ema hoden na no na esi edi ne kane me fe edro bi a doctor amfa ma wo didi yi yiro ho nada bo ye ka chen kofo pise obi no ha wote ha wonya exercise bia obetumi a 90 ni nyina eboa ema honam ni nya ahoden na se yare bi eba a etumi akwa etia
Enumere kase bo eno na oguso a uhwe twa hwaje aboafo nkrato ye ba de akabia edebema mo